Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and this is Founders of Gloomhaven. It's currently on Kickstarter as of this recording. However, if you're watching this now, I don't know if it is or isn't, because it's in its last 6 to 7 days or so. The aim of this solo playthrough is to show you how this is actually played solo, so you can get an idea as to whether or not this is something you want to back on Kickstarter. So there's a couple things I want to make mention of, a couple things, and just this personal stuff in terms of the filming. I'm going outside of the norm here. Typically I film these videos and they're done, and then they're released, and I get feedback from you guys, and then I continue on with the playthrough. That's how I typically like to operate. However, with the really tight time frame of this Gloomhaven, Founders of Gloomhaven, I should say, Kickstarter, I wasn't able to really do that this time, so I'm having to film these back to back on the same night for myself and releasing them to you guys sporadically. So when you guys are commenting and letting me know about anything I did wrong, I'm actually already further ahead in the recording than you are in the commenting. Meaning I can't go back and make changes, but I can go back and make comments and pin comments. So if you have been putting comments in and you've been noticing that hey, nothing's been changing to the next gameplay video, don't worry, I have seen your comments and I am in real time checking them as well as adding them into the pinned comments for the videos to make sure people understand if I'm doing anything incorrectly. So the one thing I want to make mention of, because we're starting round number 4, is just two things. One thing is, these guys right here are all available abilities for me to use my meeple on. So currently I have one house, which allows me one meeple, and I am allowed to put that on here as long as I've delivered at least one resource to one of these prestige buildings, then I can do so. I have said in prior videos so far that this is like a special action you get when you complete a building, meaning like all the resources have been delivered. That's not the case. It's actually as soon as you deliver one resource, you have access to be able to put your meeple in those spots. So just keep that in mind, and I do apologize for that confusion. The other confusion I made was by putting this advanced resource down, this jewelry, this ring resource, was a result of upgrading from the gym, which is the original. And the problem with that is they're supposed to be connected, and connected means being adjacent or having a direct line through a path that does not cross through buildings. And as you can see, it crosses through all kinds of buildings. There's no direct path to those from there to there at all. So what we're going to have to do, because I cannot pick this up now and move it, because this is actually feeding resources from this particular factory over here to the Merchants Guild and the Temple of the Great Oak, and they've already been feeding resources into it, so I can't move this now. But what I can do, in order to make this fair, because I made this mistake, is to punish myself. So during this round 4, I'm going to spend an action, and I'm going to use my racial ability, allowing me to build up to 4 road tiles connected to a stone resource tile, which is our stone resources right here. And I'm going to connect it through here. So we're going to follow this path, and we're going to build out 4, and we're going to connect it that way. And that's how I'm going to save myself the trouble of backing up and ripping things apart, because we'll continue on. And it also does hurt me this turn because I'm losing a card, plus I'm using my meeple instead of using it for one of these really great abilities. The other nasty thing is this turn I need to clear off 3 different ones from 3 different prestige buildings. It's going to be quite the task with the cards I have. Hopefully I can do it, and if I can't, I could end up losing just in this particular video, so we'll see how it goes. So let's start off the first hand and see what we can do. The first thing I'm going to do right away is I'm going to, actually now that I think about it, I can recruit. Ooh, maybe I want to recruit first. Let me just, sorry guys, let me just check something really quick here. Recruit an advisor and gain 1 fleeting influence. That sounds pretty good. I'd have to pay two to get 1. I'd probably want to grab build an advanced resource building, then gain 2 or 3 fleeting influence. Oh, that's nice. Wow, that's really good. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to recruit. So this is going to be a recruit action. So I'm using this for its main ability. So I will get around to doing this building thing in a second. But for now, I just want to do this to get this out of the way. So I'm going to recruit. I'm going to get myself a fleeting influence. It's going to give me 1. That's good. Gives me some options later on. And also, again, guys, if I can't get one of these cubes off, I'm going to need as much influence as I possibly can to pay the price to remove one of these cubes, because it's going to cost me 4 influence, which is 2 lasting influence, just to get rid of it, one of those cubes, and not lose the game. Because if I can't do that, I lose. I got to get these gray cubes off. So this will help me as a backup plan if I can get up to 4 of these. Okay, so I've done that. I'm recruiting. I have to pay however much it costs for whichever guy I want. The great thing is the driver for building an advanced resource is in here now. So I'm going to take him for 1. So I'm going to pay 1 in order to grab him. He's going to go into my hand. So that's cool. So now I've got myself 4 advisor cards in there. And this recruit card is now completely used. I can shuffle these down the bench. We'll pull out another one. And we've got a carpenter. Okay, interesting. All right, so let's go talk about our little road here. We need to use a card in order to go and use our racial ability in order to use a meeple to gain the 4 tiles to connect this mess that I made from round 2. So in order to do so, I got to pick one of these cards in my hand that I don't think I'm going to be using, and that's where things get interesting. Let me see. I don't really think I'll be doing a personal building this turn, that's for sure. So I'm going to probably go with this one. So I'm going to take Ringleader, and I'm going to flip this one upside down to use it for a follow action, which is going to allow me to use my racial ability. So I'm going to use my worker on there to build up the 4 road tiles. So this is going to be me fixing up my little mess that I had made in terms of a wrong placement. So there we go. Now this thing is connected in and it has a full path all the way back to the gem. So we're all good there. That's all fixed up. And the other cool thing about building that road is I actually have access from stuff that I build over here all the way across to this side too. So it's actually a plus. And as long as it's a link that connects back to the stone resource, then I'm fine. And that's exactly what I have to do. It has to be connected like we were talking about earlier in the video. Okay, so 2 cards are face down and used. Now we got to think about what we can do to get rid of these neutral claim tokens off of these locations before I get in trouble. This is going to be the hardest one. The reason this is super hard is we need a food, which I do have, so that's a plus. But we also need a kind of like a writing block area type thing. So we need like that resource, the writing one there, and I'm sorry I don't know the actual terminology for it, but we need that. And then, so that will satisfy that, but that's going to be 2 actions basically to get there, which is costly because I'm going to have to do quite a bit. This one over here just needs wood, so that's a really simple one that doesn't require much. Now this one's interesting, and the reason why this one's interesting is because I can I could use my showman right now to perform a trade action, then gain fleeting influence equal to half rounded up the money spent. So depending on where I end up putting this particular wood tile, which what I could do is, it looks like this, I could put this in a location that's a high cost, and the sand area is 2, and it would be rounding up, equal to half rounded up. Okay, I see. So really this would only get me 1 fleeting influence. I'd really want to put this in an expensive spot then, because I want as much influence as I can possibly get. So if I put it in an expensive spot, it would be in the green or the gray areas, which would cost me 3. And if you round that down, it's 1.5, and then round up, it's 2. So that would work. But this needs to also be able to connect to here cleanly. So I'm going to have to do something like this. So I'm going to put it here. And that's a legal placement. So I'm going to put the wood right there, and it's going to be on, actually, it's on a gray tile, so it's going to cost me 3 coins to put that down, which is fairly expensive. So we're going to go ahead and spend 3 to do so. So that's placed there, and then we also get to put a claim token on it for ourselves. We also get to bump up our income track a little higher for next turn, so that's good. The wood resource now is directly connected automatically to the Temple of the Great Oak, so that means this is automatically satisfied. So we can go ahead and close that off, remove the neutral token. It gives us 2 points. Now, there's nothing else point-wise over here, so we just get a straight 2 points going to 23. So that's good. We got 1 of the 3 down. Now we have these 2. Now, the cool thing about this particular card, before we lose it, we use this advisor face up, so we're going to have to discard it. But it says perform a trade action, then gain the fleeting influence equal to half rounded up. That means we gain 2 fleeting influence because we chose to put it in a really, really expensive location. So now we have 3. That's really good. If we get 1 more, we can handle removing we can especially handle removing this cube, which would cause us to lose the game because we likely aren't going to be able to build enough to get that done, although I'm going to try really hard. This one over here, in order to get this one done, This one requires brick is probably the next thing that's the most easiest for us to build. And as you can see from the brick, we need stone and population. Stone and population right now are over here. So we just need to build, we just need to have them linking. The cool thing is that they can link through the pathways all the way over to here, and the same with population all the way over to here. So we could build something even right here that would connect into the Merchant's Guild and give us our brick and satisfy that requirement. The only problem is it probably costs some decent money. And if I look over here in my advanced resources, I've got myself one that costs 4. So, I mean, I don't have 4. I'd have to probably chuck a couple cards or find some fancy way to make this work. So before we do that, which I'm going to do, we know we can use an upgrade action to make that happen. So I'll probably be using that card to do this. So I could use like Driver, for instance, to give myself an extra money, and maybe Taskmaster to give myself an extra money. That's actually not bad. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good plan, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take both of those cards and put them face down for follow actions, giving me 2 more coins. So now I have 4. I'm then going to use my upgrade action here to build. And sorry, the Showman's gone. This was face up. I used it earlier. It's literally out of my hands. So First Advisor, actually, I think I'm throwing out, but it's no longer a part of my deck. This upgrade action here is going to allow me to build an advanced resource and get a connected road, but I have to obviously still pay for it. So I'm paying 4 in order to get that advanced resource. And that advanced resource is, of course, going to be the brick. And I'm absolutely going to put it right here. And the reason that it's perfect to go right here is the stone can make a connection all the way to it, to feed into it, to create this advanced resource, and also the population is there to do so. And later on, this brick can even be funneled out. Like, it's not trapped over here when it's built, because we have a nice road going through, so that's perfect. The other cool thing is it's adjacent to the Merchant's Guild. They're very happy to receive their brick. So we're going to go ahead and take a token, put it on the Merchant's Guild. We get 8 points for that. Remove the neutral one. We get 8 points, plus we come over here and look, we own both population and rock. So we have 10 points coming through total, we're jumping from 23 to 33. That's not bad. Now we only have 1 more to worry about. Now this is where things get fun, because technically I got to do a lot of work to make that happen. I'm also kind of poor, so I don't have any money. Now, the other thing that's really harsh is I need influence in order to avoid getting hit next turn. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use a construct action here and potentially, let me think about this. If I build a house or a personal building, actually, you know what? I get a fleeting influence from when I build a house anyway. When you construct, you pay to build an adjacent personal building. What I need to look up on that one, guys, because I just want to be 100% sure. I think I might get a fleeting influence from building, and I could be told, or maybe that's, oh no, that's for, I get one later in the round in the call to vote. It's not right away. Ugh, so this isn't going to help me. And also, I need to be able to pay for it, and I don't have any money. So there's that problem too. So I'm going to use this one. Oh, and sorry, this is definitely done. Oh, I guess I didn't also finish this card. So before I go on to this construct action thing, I'm going to talk about the upgrades still. So I did my upgrade, and I put this guy out, but I still have the ability to add a road. And the only places to add a road that would be connected, because he's wedged in here like this, would be here, here, or here. And really, there's no point. Everything's connected through this funnel here, so I don't need to build any roads in that pocket over there. It's just not, it's not going to interest me. So I'm happy discarding that card now at this point. So this was used fully for its main actions. It just goes like that, and it's discarded. Now I'm going to come over here and do the construct. I'm definitely not using this for construct because I can't afford to build a house, and I also, houses at this point have to be in another area of the map. I can't have 2 houses on this side. I have to build a bridge basically at some point here that's going to take me to the opposite side of the map. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use this for a fleeting influence boost. So it's going to give me 4 fleeting influence. And then I'm going to come over here to the trade. And this is where I can't really do much with this one either, so I might as well just take a money. So I'm going to just cash this one in to give myself an extra coin to help me in the next turn. And that's it, guys. I've now burned my entire hand out. It's done. So I'll just pick these up and just kind of get them ready to be put back out in a second. But first, we'll move into the call of vote for the 4th round. Yikes. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so what we do in the call to round is, well, we're getting pretty familiar with this stuff now, is we're checking for claim tokens. So right off the bat, you check to see if there's any of these claim tokens on the board, and there is at the university, because we weren't able to get that done. Now, this would normally, if we didn't have at this point, we have to be able to pay influence that is equal to the far right cost on this particular table in order to remove this right now. And if I can't do it, or if I didn't have the influence available to do it, I'd instantly lose the game. But because we were able to get 4 fleeting influence in our hands, I'm going to spend all 4 of them in order to knock this particular token off. It doesn't mean we delivered anything to it. It just saves us from losing the game. That's it. We still have a lot of work to do to get that one done next turn. We have to do it. We're going to be in trouble. And then we're also going to have a lot of work to do with these ones because they're going to get progressively harder. So you can see, like, you really have to be thinking about all the different advanced things. Like this one needs fur, and this is kind of like a city hallish look with some cloth. Like these are all talking about top tier type resources over here that you need all these prerequisites for. Gets a little bit tricky. Okay, so we've done that. We managed to not lose the game in round 4, thank goodness. We collect our income now. My income is 7 because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unique resources, and that's the key word there. They got to be unique. You can't ever have more than 1 unique resource, I think, in one section of the board either. I think there's another rule. So I already had 1 here, so that's great. So I'm going to have 8 starting in the next one, which I think is the most I've ever had in the game in general. So that's great. So we got 4 and we got another 4. That's awesome. So we're all kind of geared up. And that's it. We're also going to collect a fleeting influence for our house. So we get 1 fleeting influence back into our pool because we have 1 house over here. So that's nice. Kind of helps us out the next round. And we're going to build a prestige building. Well, we have 1 influence in our hand. We can't use it to buy even this one. We can't afford this one. So we have to play this one. We don't have a choice. So this is going to come right here. And it's the brown door. So it's a red one. It's actually a first red token there. So it's going to be kind of, or building, I should say, a prestige building. And this one's cool because it looks like it's really low, which is awesome. So if I can find a way to connect this in, I have everything except for that last one. So this is a little dangerous because I don't want to have to focus. I want to be able to connect this in, but not be able to resolve all of them. I want to be able to slowly connect them in, because as soon as you connect into a grid that populates all these, they just all automatically populate in the moment. And so I could get myself into a situation where I populate all 3 and still need this one, but then I force myself to need this, plus 1 of these, plus 1 of these, plus 1 of these, and be looking for 4 in one round. It's likely I'll fail. So I need to almost draw this one out and have it stop, so have it not connect everything, if that makes sense. So the brown door, I'm going to go ahead and probably put it somewhere that makes the most sense. So if I connected it, like something like this, what would that connect to? That would connect to the jewelry, so that would satisfy that automatically. The bricks right here, so that would satisfy that automatically. The wood, where's the wood? The wood's here. The wood would not connect. So that's good. That would give me 1 turn to have to deal with it. So that's good, because I can later on connect it with a road, and then it would get that. And then we'd have another round for the kind of the silk or the cloth, which I know we need for something else over here. So that's not bad. That's not bad. That'd be a decent spot to put it. So maybe I'll do that right now, because I don't think there's anything else I can really do. Yeah, that makes the most sense, I think. So I'm gonna put it right there. And again, it's red, so it means it has to be at least be touching 1 red space when it gets put into play, and we've satisfied that, no problem. It automatically, as soon as it connects, it starts satisfying its delivery. So automatically I gain the jewelry and the brick, which gives me 4 for the brick. You got to trickle it down, so 4 for brick comes to here, which gives me 1, 2 more. So I'm getting 6 points, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at 39. This one's jewelry for 2. The jewelry comes into here and gives me 1 extra, so that's 3. 1, 2, 3. We're making our way around the track. And so the neutral token that I basically just put on is now off. So the way it works is you build a prestige building, you add the neutral claim token to it right away. The way the game rules state is that you would automatically satisfy any connection of delivery of resources right away, but then even after that, there's a step that says add a neutral claim token if existing buildings still needs a resource. Now, it's weird the way it's worded because it says add a neutral claim token if existing buildings still need a resource. I'm assuming this is still considered existing. Maybe it's not. That's going to be something that could shoot me in the face later. I'm going to say that it still needs a resource for the next round, so I'm going to put a gray one on there saying that we still need to look at it. I mean, maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. I'm not sure, and I'm not going to know because I'm filming this in real time kind of thing and going through, but we've got 4 buildings that need resources, so we're going to have to definitely get creative here. And then we're going to go ahead and that's it. That's the end of the call to vote round. So now we can take all of our cards and throw them back in. We obviously, remember, we lost 1 advisor last round because we used it for his front ability. So we should be 1 shorter on cards this time. But I think we actually did recruit an advisor. So maybe we ended up evening out there. I think we did. Yeah, because we got the driver. So that's pretty much it. This is our new hand. And the thing I'm going to be wanting to focus on mainly next round, I think, is going to be the silk for sure, if we were whatever that is, that cloth, because if I can get the cloth, which we need cattle and the gear for, which is, oh, that's devastating. That's going to be real problematic. Especially, so basically, the Temple of the Great Oak, I can get like 1 of those things made, potentially. But we're going to need some influence because we're not going to be able to satisfy this one likely in the next round. Maybe we will, who knows? Maybe we have enough money boiling over here we can make something happen, or maybe the advisors can help us, or maybe for the first time ever, guys, we can actually put something over here, like maybe this one, the university, we can return up to 3 discarded cards in our hand. Hey, that's not bad. But it'd also be really cool to build a bridge and then try to build a house to then get another meeple to then try to put it onto one of these cards, because you can gain 1 lasting influence for each adjacent prestige building. There's a lot of good things here. Very interesting. There's going to be a lot of decisions in the next one. So again, I could be wrong. This may or may not. I don't know if it's supposed to be there or not, because essentially, when it came into play, it automatically succeeds at delivering resources to it, and then the rules state essentially that you add a neutral claim token if existing building still needs a resource. And I assume because it still needs a resource, it still needs a neutral claim token. So yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us. But we made it through round 4, and we only need to get through 2 more rounds that involve a call to vote. So round 5 and 6 will involve a call to vote, and then round 7 does not involve a call to vote. So if we can make it through, we might survive. Maybe. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. It is quite strategic. There are a lot of decisions to make. I'm just making 1 decision and 1 path here. I'm sure if you guys are looking at the board while I'm playing, you guys are already devising your own way of potentially building things out. Again, depending on what you get in these things when you're purchasing them and stuff like that, it could be something different every single time. We just got the Sleeping Lion. So we've got all kinds of interesting things happening in this game and all kinds of choices. And I haven't even touched this stuff over here yet. But I hope you guys are enjoying it. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. If you see anything I messed up on, let me know in the comments below. Again, I can't change it in future videos. But I can for this particular playthrough anyway. Sorry. But definitely I can pin anything that I made incorrect mistakes on. I can definitely pin that in a comment that everyone can see, so that if anyone ever watches this and gets confused on something, that they can reference it. So, again, thank you for watching. Appreciate the support. You guys are amazing. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Founders of Gloomhaven. Keep on rolling solo.